on Pittsburgh CW. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi. We're going to go right to the lines because they're buzzing tonight. So let's begin with Jim in Mount Lebanon. Hello, Jim. How are you?
Hi, Jim.
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Hey, I want to talk two things about the Penguins and the Pirates. The Penguins don't care if they win their division or if they win the President's Cup. All they care about is making the playoffs and winning the Cup. And the Pirates ain't going nowhere this year. The over under 70.5, and it's going under.
I thought it was more like 68. With regard to your first part of this, yes, technically you're right, Andrew. We've seen evidence that you don't have to be a president. In fact, if you win that trophy, normally you do get eliminated seemingly early. I'm of the belief I still want home ice if I can get it. I think it's worth playing for. Your take?
Well, not extending yourself for. You know, I think that's not something you want to break your back to get. I think if you're late in the year, not that you're going to do load management, Bob. You like that term from the NBA?
Load management, yeah. That's become a big thing with NBA players, huh?
I'm not going load management.
Kawhi Leonard was the first to do it, right? Is that where San Antonio?
Yeah, and then
Pop did it all the time.
They won, which made it even worse, right? Because then teams
well, maybe Sidney could use some load management then. Sit down and relax a little bit. But he's not like that if you know anything about Sidney Crosby.
I can't picture myself standing here with you if you'll allow for me to come to the fan cave a couple of months from now and pick the Penguins or the Capitals based on who has the Game 7 at home. I'm not conditioned in hockey to think that the team with the home ice in the playoffs has a big advantage. What's the rebuttal? Do you have?
My rebuttal is I just like it better at home. I think you get the last change. I think there's a lot of advantages to it.
So there's
now, that doesn't guarantee anything.
Sure.
Tactically, I want every advantage I can get. And I'm sure every coach out there would tell you he'd want that advantage. But that doesn't mean you can't win from that position. I mean, the Steelers did it as a 6th seed when no one thought that was possible. These things are broken in time, and you realize you can do it, but it makes it easier. Plus, the matchups become easier, I think.
I'm with you. But I think of the major sports that we talk about here, the division championship means so much more in the NFL and in Major League Baseball. In the NFL, you don't want to have to play the wild card and play 3 games and go on the road like the Steelers, did in 2005.
Good point.
And in baseball, you don't want to get into that one-game coin flip.
No, absolutely. It carries much more meaning. So if they made a hockey playoff that had more meaning to it as far as winning the overall, Eastern Conference, then you might consider it more. But I still think there's advantages to it. Let's go to Will in McKees Rocks. Will, thank you for calling. How are you?
Hi, Will.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey.
Good.
Good. Long time no hear from, but it's great to talk to you again.
Yeah, well, you got to keep calling, Will.
I do. But I do watch every night, though.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I want to talk Penguins with you if I could. Do you think, so deep in the season, I'm just not still sold on this whole goalie rotation. Don't you think you pick your best guy and ride him to get him ready for the playoff run?
Ideally, but who's your best guy right now?
I mean, right now, I would still statistically go with Jari based on what he's done, the whole body of work.
Yeah, but he hasn't done the body of work that Matt Murray has done twice in the much more competitive, highly contested playoffs. I don't know. What do you say?
Well, I think ideally I'd like to see a goalie get used to playing in consecutive games because that's what you're going to do in the playoffs. Jari's not going to start game 1, Murray starts game 2, Jari starts game 3. And so I think what Will's saying, and I think this is a good point, are you going to just go back and forth until April, and then once you get to April, you're going to say, all right, now it's your job?
Yeah, load management. It's about load management, don't you know?
No, but I think that's tough.
It is.
I think that's tough to flip-flop for 30 games and then you change your philosophy.
Don't you think Sullivan's going to do that before then, though?
Well, but Will raises a good point. When?
Well, you still have over a month to go here.
No doubt. But I think what happened here this weekend, and you're not going to read a ton into, this 3-game losing streak. My guess is whoever he picks to play in LA on Wednesday, if that goaltender gives a good effort and they win, I bet he's back in against Anaheim. Right? I mean, I think that would be where this back and forth run stops.
Tom joins us right now from Monongahela. What's up, Tom?
Hey, how you doing, Bob?
Good.
How you guys doing?
Hi, Tom.
Listen, I heard it, Ben, is throwing the ball again. And that's great news. My question is about with Bud Dupree being in his 5th year. He's 28 years old, under, with the salary cap. What do you think that they should do, or, going after free agency or via trading or, on the draft pick.
Well, to your first point, we saw the pictures yesterday, but Ron Cook of the Post-Gazette talked to Ben Roethlisberger, who was encouraged by what he had to say, which is good. And you want to see him. I guess he bypassed. He thought he was going to throw tennis balls around, and he went right for the football. So he looked,
What's
decent
next,
form.
medicine ball?
Could be, but so you got that firsthand from Ben, and that's good news for him. As far as what you're saying next, I mean, we have this conversation. We'll have it tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. Andrew, what is your philosophy about franchise tags and the toll it takes on your salary cap?
I want to keep the defense together because they were so good last year. They forced so many turnovers. I think they're building something. But at the same time, I don't think they ever imagined going into 2019 that they were ever going to have to budget and allocate $16 million to Bud Dupree. So I just wonder now, Bob, if they are going to go in that direction, and every indication is they will, what sacrifice do they have to make somewhere else to make that happen? This isn't Major League Baseball. You've got to rob Peter to pay Paul if you want to keep Bud Dupree at $16 million.
See, I disagree. I think they knew that if Bud could play the way they thought, that's why they picked up his fifth-year option, that they were facing a potential franchise situation. So I think they factored that in.
That there was going to be a $7 million raise?
Yeah, I think they knew what the market would be if he had a big season. They bet on him. A lot of people didn't think they'd pick up the fifth-year option. A lot of people were critical because he hadn't shown enough to do it.
Well, right.
Well, they did it thinking that if he had what they thought he could do, then this would be next. So I think they have it figured out, and I think they will slap a tag on him. Let's go to Harry in Westview. What's up, Harry?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, the XFL, do you guys think what rule will be adopted in the NFL? And how long do you think it'll take for any of those rules to be adopted in the NFL? Which ones do you guys like?
Thanks, Harry. Andrew?
I could see them doing the extra point change, maybe not the 1, 2, 3, where it's Bob, it's the 2. Is it the 1 yard line, the 5 yard line,
And
the
the
10
yard line for 3 points. Yeah.
See, I think I could see them getting rid of the kicked extra point and doing a 1 point extra point offensive play and a 2 point offensive play. That I could see. The kickoff thing, I'm not as sold on.
Yeah, I'm not either. I do like how they're using replay. I like how the fact that you can eavesdrop on everything that's going on there.
You think El Riveron wants that?
No, El Riveron, well, maybe no. Hello, I'm El Riveron. He might like it. He might like the extra exposure he gets from it. I don't know. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. We're due for a break, but now it's time for our Tri-State Office Furniture. Are we going to do that first, the tweet of the day? Okay, we'll do the tweet of the day, and this comes to us from Taz Malaz. Is that right? I don't know what his name is. It says Taz Malaz. But anyway, it says Bucks clinched a playoff spot, earliest day in NBA history, February 23rd. For those of you who are non-NBA people,
yeah, that's not Tampa Bay or Pittsburgh.
That's not Pittsburgh, no, sir. When I saw Bucks, I thought immediately. But so Taz, thank you for that. But it is the earliest. They're dominant. I don't see any team in the East really matching up with them. Antetokounmpo is tremendous, unless they have some injuries down the stretch.
They might break the Warriors' 73-win record.
They're on pace to put it, and certainly right in their sights. So I think Boston, if they can get hot, could be a problem. But I don't think they have the overall talent.
You're a wealth of knowledge on every sport.
Do you like the NBA, right?
Yeah.
So I tell
FanDuel lets you take a little action out on it. I like Dallas as a long shot.
So do I. We talked about that. We have comparative notes here. You got Luka Doncic and you got Kristaps Porzingis. So that's a pretty good team, 1-2 punch. They need more than that, actually. We'll see how it goes in the West. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have our hot or cold play of the day. So we're going to show you something that you probably haven't seen, and it's worth sticking around for. You're not going to believe what happened. And we'll show it to you next, right here on the Fan Cave. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Portions of this program sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook.